prioritize the different facets of daily self-management gets hectic, whether it's for school students, university students, or working people. The lack of motivation, a great amount of workload, and the expectations at the academic front, in college, or at one's workplace is draining for an individual. Under such circumstances, a helping hand can instruct and support us in setting the right direction for our goals. At MentorMitr, we engage with individuals wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their potential and performance to optimum. Our involvement helps individuals to set the right goals and create options by following an objective process, thereby enabling them to define and manage their priorities. We help them generate self awareness and teach them how to prioritize their time effectively. We also enhance their emotional quotient with techniques like mind mapping and dealing with success and failure to reinforce their goals and processes, while also grooming them with soft skills that are necessary for the competitive selection process, thus making them confident and prepared for success. While progressing in life, at times we feel stuck due to the lack of knowledge of how to manage our time well. Deciding how to prioritize the different facets of daily self management gets hectic, whether it's for school students, university students, or working people. The lack of motivation, a great amount of workload, and the expectations at the academic front, in college, or at one's workplace is draining for an individual. Under such circumstances, a helping hand can instruct and support us in setting the right direction for our goals. At MentorMitr, we engage with individuals wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their potential and performance to optimum. Our involvement helps individuals to set the right goals and create options by following an objective process, thereby enabling them to define and manage their priorities. We help them generate self awareness and teach them how to prioritize their time effectively. We also enhance their emotional quotient with techniques like mind mapping and dealing with success and failure to reinforce their goals and processes, while also grooming them with soft skills that are necessary for the competitive selection process, thus making them confident and prepared for success. While progressing in life, at times we feel stuck due to the lack of knowledge of how to manage our time well. Deciding how to prioritize the different facets of daily self management gets hectic, whether it's for school students, university students, or working people. The lack of motivation, a great amount of workload, and the expectations at the academic front, in college, or at one's workplace is draining for an individual. Under such circumstances, a helping hand can instruct and support us in setting the right direction for our goals. At MentorMitr, we engage with individuals wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their potential and performance to optimum. Our involvement helps individuals to set the right goals and create options by following an objective process, thereby enabling them to define and manage their priorities. We help them generate self-awareness and teach them how to prioritize their time effectively. We also enhance their emotional quotient with techniques like mind mapping and dealing with success and failure to reinforce their goals and processes, while also grooming them with soft skills that are necessary for the competitive selection process, thus making them confident and prepared for success. While progressing in life, at times we feel stuck due to the lack of knowledge of how to manage our time well. Deciding how to prioritize the different facets of daily self management gets hectic, whether it's for school students, university students, or working people. The lack of motivation, a great amount of workload, and the expectations at the academic front, in college, or at one's workplace is draining for an individual. Under such circumstances, a helping hand can instruct and support us in setting the right direction for our goals. At MentorMitr, we engage with individuals wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their potential and performance to optimum. Our involvement helps individuals to set the right goals and create options by following an objective process, thereby enabling them to define and manage their priorities. We help them generate self-awareness and teach them how to prioritize their time effectively. We also enhance their emotional quotient with techniques like mind mapping and dealing with success and failure to reinforce their goals and processes, while also grooming them with soft skills that are necessary for the competitive selection process, thus making them confident and prepared for success. While progressing in life, at times we feel stuck due to the lack of knowledge of how to manage our time well. Deciding how to prioritize the different facets of daily self management gets hectic, whether it's for school students, university students, or working people. The lack of motivation, a great amount of workload, and the expectations at the academic front, in college, or at one's workplace is draining for an individual. Under such circumstances, a helping hand can instruct and support us in setting the right direction for our goals. At MentorMitr, we engage with individuals wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their potential and performance to optimum. Our involvement helps individuals to set the right goals and create options by following an objective process, thereby enabling them to define and manage their priorities. We help them generate self-awareness and teach them how to prioritize their time effectively. We also enhance their emotional quotient with techniques like mind mapping and dealing with success and failure to reinforce their goals and processes, while also grooming them with soft skills that are necessary for the competitive selection process, thus making them confident and prepared for success. While progressing in life, at times we feel stuck due to the lack of knowledge of how to manage our time well. Deciding how to prioritize the different facets of daily self-management gets hectic, whether it's for school students, university students, or working people. The lack of motivation, a great amount of workload, and the expectations at the academic front, in college, or at one's workplace is draining for an individual. Under such circumstances, a helping hand can instruct and support us in setting the right direction for our goals. At MentorMitr, we engage with individuals wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their potential and performance to optimum. Our involvement helps individuals to set the right goals and create options by following an objective process, thereby enabling them to define and manage their priorities. We help them generate self-awareness and teach them how to prioritize their time effectively. We also enhance their emotional quotient with techniques like mind mapping and dealing with success and failure to reinforce their goals and processes, while also grooming them with soft skills that are necessary for the competitive selection process, thus making them confident and prepared for success. While progressing in life, at times we feel stuck due to the lack of knowledge of how to manage our time well. Deciding how to prioritize the different facets of daily self-management gets hectic, whether it's for school students, university students, or working people. The lack of motivation, a great amount of workload, and the expectations at the academic front, in college, or at one's workplace is draining for an individual. Under such circumstances, a helping hand can instruct and support us in setting the right direction for our goals. At MentorMitr, we engage with individuals wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their potential and performance to optimum. Our involvement helps individuals to set the right goals and create options by following an objective process, thereby enabling them to define and manage their priorities. We help them generate self-awareness and teach them how to prioritize their time effectively. We also enhance their emotional quotient with techniques like mind mapping and dealing with success and failure to reinforce their goals and processes, while also grooming them with soft skills that are necessary for the competitive selection process, thus making them confident and prepared for success. While progressing in life, at times we feel stuck due to the lack of knowledge of how to manage our time well. Deciding how to prioritize the different facets of daily self management gets hectic, whether it's for school students, university students, or working people. The lack of motivation, a great amount of workload, and the expectations at the academic front, in college, or at one's workplace is draining for an individual. Under such circumstances, a helping hand can instruct and support us in setting the right direction for our goals. At MentorMitr, we engage with individuals wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their potential and performance to optimum. Our involvement helps individuals to set the right goals and create options by following an objective process, thereby enabling them to define and manage their priorities. We help them generate self-awareness and teach them how to prioritize their time effectively. We also enhance their emotional quotient with techniques like mind mapping and dealing with success and failure to reinforce their goals and processes, while also grooming them with soft skills that are necessary for the competitive selection process, thus making them confident and prepared for success. While progressing in life, at times we feel stuck due to the lack of knowledge of how to manage our time well. Deciding how to prioritize the different facets of daily self management gets hectic, whether it's for school students, university students, or working people. The lack of motivation, a great amount of workload, and the expectations at the academic front, in college, or at one's workplace is draining for an individual. Under such circumstances, a helping hand can instruct and support us in setting the right direction for our goals. At MentorMitr, we engage with individuals wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their potential and performance to optimum. Our involvement helps individuals to set the right goals and create options by following an objective process, thereby enabling them to define and manage their priorities. We help them generate self-awareness and teach them how to prioritize their time effectively. We also enhance their emotional quotient with techniques like mind mapping and dealing with success and failure to reinforce their goals and processes, while also grooming them with soft skills that are necessary for the competitive selection process, thus making them confident and prepared for success.
Ranveer, please.
Good evening, everyone. The steps to avail the e-certificate are as follows. Attend the full webinar. Once you see thank you displayed on the screen, there will appear a link to Google Attendance form in the chat box. Click to mark your attendance in the form and get the feedback form emailed. Fill the questionnaire that you receive on your mail for further details. Follow our page on Instagram and Facebook. If the above stated steps are followed, an e-certificate will automatically be mailed to you. MentorMitr is a mentoring organization. Our aim is to guide students who are in schools and colleges, as well as working people, in areas such as goal setting, stress management, time management, enhancing emotional intelligence, and providing them with soft skill grooming. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on navigating through the pandemic physically, mentally, and emotionally. This session will be led by Dr. Jaideep Kumar Sharma and Dr. Jyoti Yadav, who will be guiding us and giving us healthcare and self care tips to cope with the current circumstances. Now, I would like to introduce our first speaker for the evening, Dr. Jaideep Kumar Sharma. Dr. Jaideep Kumar Sharma is a TEDx speaker, a motivator, and is engaged with various causes where he talks to students, people at large. By background, he is a renowned radiologist from All India Institute of Medical Sciences, Delhi, a gold medalist. Although Dr. Jaideep pursues his medical practice, his aim is to contribute to making people happy and the community a happier place where people live without fear. He has fought a battle for his life and is the champion of overcoming adversities and giving it a good fight. We would like to commence the engagement session with questions that will be posed for Mr. Kumar. Sir, would you like to answer these questions?
It would be a privilege. It would be a privilege.
All right, sir. The first question we have is, what are the coping mechanisms that I should take up to go about this pandemic?
And who is the person asking the question?
So this is generally from our audience because these are the
audience. Okay, so generally the audience need to know, and you want to know exactly what you should do to cope up with the COVID situation,
with the stress,
pandemic COVID situation. Yeah, the general stress. There is certain things happening on the planet that is never happened before, and obviously, therefore, we are left dealing with situations here, right? And that's what's caused this seminar to happen today. This conversation is all about coping up with the situation that we are dealing with. But my question as a reverse, as something to look into deeply, is what is that you're really dealing with? Has anybody in the United Nations asked you to look for a vaccine? What is really that you're dealing with? How many of you have actually had COVID or suffered COVID or have had people in your life who have dealt with it? Very few. Though me being a doctor, I deal with it on a daily basis. It's one of the biggest illnesses in the living memory of human race right now. And incidentally, a bad incident happened in my family where I lost my first cousin, my Buaji's younger son, just this month in October itself, early October. But dealing with it is something when you actually think that there is some threat, there is some problem, there is something that is not as much as you would want it to be. Is it really this bad? Would have I had nobody getting deceased in my family? Is it only because of COVID that things are going the way they are going? Statistically, if we were to look, and we have lost a few lakh people already on the planet, but do you know how many people got saved because there were no road accidents? There were no train accidents? Do you know how many people actually survived crimes like murders and so many other deadly sins that people commit over people? In fact, in the last 10 months that has happened, more people have survived the planet than they did the last year or ever before on this planet. But we focus on what is not going right for us. And that leaves us with a feeling that things are not going right. But is that really it? Who are the people who are at threat about this? Most of the people I'm right now addressing or I'm being heard from are people who are relatively younger, fitter, and have very little risk factors about COVID, but are concerned because certain people, certain media, and a lot of learned people in the medical sector have been talking about this being a pandemic. So it looks like kind of something is under threat, more like a alien invasion where the whole planet is going to be eliminated. I would like to insist it is just about the perception of the situation. It is not really about what has gone wrong. Most of you are going to make it anyways, and you know that. You're fit, your immunity levels are high. We have large numbers happening in India, but really look at the large numbers that Indians are on the planet. Number two, look at the hygiene levels we are with. Look at the medical support mechanisms we have. Pathetic. Given the usual social structure and the medical support that we have for it, the numbers are infinitesimally small. Even smaller countries, much smaller, small European countries, which are not even as much as size of where we are speaking from, Haryana. Most countries are smaller than this, even in the US, in the entire Europe, have lost more people than we have lost in Haryana itself. Stop comparing it to India, because India is such a large country with second largest population on the planet, and we still have the largest country has not even let out the exact figures of how many people have died in their country. We are an open country, so we know about certain deaths having happened, but effectively, is that what is happening? There is more a scare about things going wrong than things having gone wrong. Having said that, from the doctor's perspective, I have a lot of suggestions, but I know there is a speaker down the line today, this evening, who will be telling you more about what to do, because the situation is the way the situation is currently. But is that really the reason that we are talking? My aspect of today handling the situation is about how to handle it the way it should be handled, psychologically, emotionally, on a personal level rather than medical. And I'll leave the medical section for the other learned speaker who should be joining in a little while, or probably is around still. And it would be a privilege to add to whatever the medical facts would be out there. But let me tell you about life as such. It is filled with just two things. First is a possibility of a breakthrough, and second is a possibility of a breakdown. And most of us observe COVID pandemic as some breakdown. Is it really a breakdown? Is it really a breakdown? I think we're living in the most clean environment that we have ever. Since I was born 57 years ago, I've never had this clean an environment to live in before. I haven't had such wonderful human behavior being available now, where people are taking care of people are taking care of hygiene for each other, people are taking care of providing support. Wonderful stories across the globe are happening about how people are in race to save the planet. I have never seen people racing to save others. How can I really talk about it as a breakdown? I don't really know what to call here as a breakdown. People standing for people trying to run a race so that the planet could be saved and cleaned up, facilities to be provided for everyone. I don't see a breakdown here at all. Few people, yes, of course, there were people dying earlier. People will continue to. We have a nasty habit of eventually leaving the planet. But that is anyway the way humans are. Nobody ever came to inherit the planet forever. 100 years and you're already a champion. You exceed 100, wow. You celebrated in most magazines and most social websites and everywhere. You cross 100 and you're already a remarkable person. And what is happening right now, as I see on the planet, is few people who are young have lost it. On review, we find majority of them were people who were careless. Majority people who did not follow the rules, the social rules, the medical rules, the advices from the people who they should have listened to. And it would have made a dramatic difference in the way the outcome happened at the end of their lives. People who are not taking care of their fitness and hygiene. We are we because we have a life, and life needs whatever maintenance and preservation it requires, just like, well, a pet that you have at home, a car that you may be driving, a cell phone you might be carrying, a television in front of your eyes. They all require the right voltage, the right maintenance, the cleaning up, the servicing. Are we really treating ourselves the same way? And if we are, where is the fear about pandemic having any impact on us at all? As I said, this is the other aspect of looking at what pandemic has brought to the planet. I would still wait for this part of answer to be completed at a part by me, of course, in the later part of the discussion when Dr. Saab comes in and gives her point of view about the physical aspect, the medical aspect of handling this pandemic. Let's continue further. Things will open up, I promise you, as this conversation continues.
All right. So the next question we have is, how does one deal with the distress of loss of employment and financially during this pandemic?
Interesting. Interesting, really. You tell me. Um, I think I am being listened to today because there have been certain breakdowns in my life. Hmm? To have achieved a degree in MBBS or maybe an MD or any other such thing which I think I got out of default of just a little academic qualification that I have is quite insufficient in about actually making it sound like I achieved something. This is the basic that every human being is meant to do. I went to a school where I studied. I was meant to study. I went to a college where I was meant to do whatever I was meant to do. I had teachers and mentors. And now you have this MentorMitr who can 24/7 help you be present to what you are about on the planet. I would really, for the first time probably in most of your lives, would like to ask you, you as you, who are you for this planet? What are you serving on the purpose of existing on this planet? Have you figured out yet who are you about? Who's the me that you keep talking about? And what is he actually? What is she or he actually meant to create for the planet where you have got this opportunity you call your life? I wasn't present to any such questions because hadn't actually been put such difficult ones. And then some of you might really know me back in 1993, and I was just not even 30 years of age. Yeah, now you know I'm 57 plus. Well, at that time, somewhere in my life, I really was challenged the maximum that I could have been challenged by anything. And it wasn't my 12th standard exams, and it was certainly not my girlfriend not allowing me to be with her, or it wasn't certainly about my MD exam or money that I didn't make. It was about me being involved in a road traffic accident, out of which all these 29 years, yeah, to 27 years, and now into the 28th year, most of it is over the 28th year also. After the accident, I happen to only earn for myself a certificate which states that I'm permanent physical disabled 55% of my body. Now, what that means to most people is that I am physically disabled 55%. But really, it just was always a phrase when it meant that yet 45% is left. I'm only 55% permanently damaged. I never, through the first 30 years of my life, achieved even 1% of what I now achieve as being a disabled. And this certificate of disability was given by my professor at All India Institute of Medical Sciences. That's where I had had my education. And they actually believed in what they said because I wasn't really begging them. I was lying unconscious in the ICU of a hospital where they said I would not survive it. I would not survive because I'd had 2 cardiac arrests. I have an artificial face now. Some of you could probably see some scars on my face. This is a face of metal, plastic and metal that this face is. I don't have a wrist on the left side. I don't have a right shoulder. I don't have, my right leg is missing, mid thigh, because that is all artificial thanks to the truck that ran over me. And all those other things that I went through, giving me the certificate of 55% permanent disability, which I'm in total denial of. And we'll talk about the value of this certifications. Though I'm certainly grateful for all those teachers who also were the ones who gave me the certificate that I'm a qualified doctor, a qualified MBBS and an MD person. Now it is for me to see which of my certificates I'm going to validate because that's what my life is going to be all about. And I just deny being 55% permanently disabled because permanent disability, by the way we humans understand, is some kind of physical disability, which is the least we could talk about ourselves as. We or me, or better still, if you could really listen to this as me, the you inside of yourself. The you on the planet is actually an energy. The you inside of yourself is actually that power. The you inside of yourself is the purpose that you came to fulfill on. And having present to that fact, and that accident was just one of the things that left me so. That was 1993. Back in 2006, I had bilateral retinal detachments because given the steroids that were I had become diabetic. I had become 134 kgs, hypertensive. And one morning I get up, a radiologist that I am, and I need my eyes for even earning my bread. I was totally blind because I'd had both eyes, complete retinal detachment, and had gone blind that morning, just overnight. I slept perfectly fine somewhere around midnight. I woke up at 8 a.m. in the morning and I was completely blind. Technology did what it did. All these years I suffered whatever debility that left. And that is before the 55% disability. Because with the blindness, I was given a certificate of complete disability. Nothing that I could achieve on my own. But as you can see, you people can see me, and I can see a few of you on the MentorMitr platform right now. That's not even the truth about what the present is. And I want to address that. Whenever I was put through stress, on the other end, when I opened my eyes, I was a stronger person. Whenever I entered the school, I passed from school, I was called a graduate. Whenever I entered, I was called, well, at least I finished my schooling. When I entered my MBBS, it was a difficult thing. Entering MBBS was like killing me. It was difficult to get in. It was still more difficult to go through the 5.5 years. And I was dying on the last day when my exams were happening. I was wondering, oh my God, what have I got myself into? But then having passed that, I suddenly had a doctor attached to my name. And then another 3 years down the line, having gone through my MD, and I didn't even realize that I'm going to survive this. I kept thinking this is going to kill me anyways. These teachers are horrible, this methodology, this country, this way of studying and everything. That looked so difficult to me. But I made it, and then suddenly I got another degree. And then had this accident happened, and they certified me again as disabled. But it was just yet another exam that I was going through. Having survived and walked out on the other side of it, now I have people right now who are listening to me for no reason at all. I'm not anyway more qualified than thousands of the people who could have got today to listen to. It's just that I have handled certain stressful situations in the past where somebody thought I would probably be the better person to talk about how to handle stress. The only way to handle stress is to know it has come to define you, to make you graduate to a higher level, because you're going to make it anyhow. And if you're not going to make it, anyway, how does it matter if you're not going to make it? If you're going to make it, you'll be a much better person. I don't think a piece of carbon would really be bothered for those millions of years living under the pressure of the trillions of tons of soil over it, because later, when somebody dug it out, it had already turned into a diamond, a priceless diamond. I don't think the piece of glass or a piece of molten metal is bothered that it is being heated to a point where it has lost its identity and just become a liquid, a glowing liquid, which just is about a few thousand degrees centigrade in temperature. But eventually, when it cools down and it's taken off the fire, it is called the tempered steel or the tempered glass. It has its values many folds more than when it had actually walked into that fire. What is the problem about troubles in life? Because that's what defines you. If I had had everything working out for myself, if I was born the son of an emperor in a country where I was never challenged and I was always with the golden spoon in my mouth, where was the problem about you people listening to me? There was nothing for me to talk and there was nothing for me to be listened to from. The whole brilliant thing about us is all of us have gone through certain stories which inspire the other people. The second thing, life has got only two things happening with you all the time. Either it is teaching you a lesson, which is mostly what looks like a breakdown, because out of breakdowns you learn lessons, always. Or you are having fun and there are only breakthroughs happening because you got the girl of your choice, you got the house of your choice, you got admission, your lottery finally worked, you won the IPL match, or whatever other things you did in about life, which you're so proud that you have today. The achievements, the breakthroughs you celebrate, the breakdowns, the teachings you learn from, which takes you to the higher level of performance. So in one place you're celebrating, in another place you're only being taken to a higher place of performance. What is there to complain about? COVID has only come as a challenge to the entire planet simultaneously. That's about the only different issue it is about. Well, in a way, it is a good thing because most of us are challenged with the same thing and therefore we can support each other to get out of this. Technology is working for us. Humanity is working for us. Climate is working for us. Leaderships are working for us. A lot of things are working for us. Certainly, few things are not. So big deal. Ever in your life, you never had all the teachers working for you all the time at say same level of support. If they were, there would be no MentorMitr. You would have had everything out of other paid places where you were being educated, and you would have gotten everything out of that. It's only in a beautiful country like India where there are people who are ready to guide you, to love you, to show you directions, to actually take you to a place where you can actually have a real realization of what you're really all about, and be present to your powers and the kind of abilities you're already having within of you, which just needs to be brushed a little, and then you go exploring the universe and creating magic on the planet. COVID is only just another situation like that. It just happened after a long time. It's happened for all of us simultaneously. But how beautiful is it? It has given us everything that we needed. It has given us insaniyat back. We're now really taking care of ourselves, taking care of people who are suffering from it, learning that we should not suffer out of having supported people who suffer. How beautiful is this? Can any other life form, be it a giraffe, a whale, an elephant, or maybe it be an ant or a bee or a termite or something really tiny, small, would they have ever had such experiences? If you didn't want such experiences, would you actually pray to the god next time around to make you a earthworm or a cockroach or a butterfly, which has nothing to do with any breakdowns, because they don't have the sense of breakdown at all? A sense of breakdown is a privilege humans have. Never have you seen any other life form talk about a breakdown in their life. Well, they don't get food, they don't get food. They can't mate with the person they are seeking. I mean, I'm talking about animals. Well, it is what they deal with. They don't go into depressions about this. They don't go into any conversations in their mind about how to get my food or how to now survive on the planet. They are fairly okay with whatever is happening. They continue to work and do what they need to do. The problem with us is we got gray matter. We have this hard disk, this drive that continues to remember everything from the past, and we keep missing what was good in the past and wondering why things went wrong. If you were not given the higher functions, you never have such conversations. So would you rather be an earthworm? Would you rather be somebody with a lesser intelligence? You've been given intelligence to actually now use it the way you would want to. There's nuclear energy. You can use it to kill others and everybody, and including yourself, or you can actually create plentifulness on the planet because you have enough energy now to even join the entire solar system or maybe the next galaxy even, because you have now nuclear energy with you. How are we going to use our breakdowns and convert into our breakthroughs is how you look at it. It's your perspective about, and I want you to, every youngster who right now thinks he's going to lose a job or is going to have tough times, do you know the planet now is much more even ground for you to start another new venture? Because every company is trying to look for a new venture, a new product, a new thing. And if this is a level ground for people now getting into, the youngsters like you who are getting into the financial world, you have a playing ground. You're an absolutely match for anybody who'd been in business for the last 30 years, because he's a wipe clean and as much as you are, and he's scared and you're not, because you didn't MentorMitr, because we are having this conversation today. And I would want you to know that you are at a much more advantageous position than anybody else on the planet. Stop worrying. See this as an opportunity as to what you can create for yourself. Some people will lose jobs, but yes, more inventions will happen now. In the last 1 year, last 10 months, have had more inventions happening for the betterment of for humanity than ever before. More and more people are trying to think of how to remotely do X, Y, Z, and so many billion other things that had never happened. The planet is changing, and you're born. You can ride this wave. You can ride this wave to right to the top. This is thrown open the entire playing ground for everyone to now contribute and win the game. Brilliant opportunity. Continue to take care of your physicality, your health, your fitness, and continue to take care of your sugar levels, and continue to take care of your fitness and your obesities and your other disabilities. And for others too, learn by having taken care of others in your family who are not as privileged as to have as much fitness as you have. guide them, take care of them, work out also how your humanity is going to make a significant contribution to other people's life who matter to you. Be the better human being that you can be. Being a better entrepreneur is a done deal. Anyways, I know you people are going to make it because it's brilliant. These times are just brilliant. You're not distracted because you're not right now out there on the street. Most of the weekends, you still have to sit home. Even by default, you'd pick up a book and read, maybe go to a site. There are audio books. We didn't have all this earlier. We didn't have nothing of this sort when we were going through our graduation. And we still had to survive this planet. More people were dying of typhoids and malarias and tuberculosis and dengues and all the works. Not as many people have died in India because of COVID pandemic, as people would die of even typhoid in our country or malnourishment. More people are surviving. It's a brilliant place to be. What is there to fear? It always looks fearful. Your first love, your marriage, shifting into a new city, change of a school, college, maybe get into their first job. It always looks scary. What's the big deal about it? It's exciting also. It creates new possibilities. That's how you look at it. Guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Gee, so I think I've spoken enough.
Alright.
Tell me how was it?
It was really good, sir. I think drawing from what you've said, people have a few more follow-up questions. So you said people have been overthinking. So someone in the audience has asked, I've been overthinking a lot during this pandemic. So how do I deal with it and direct that thinking towards something productive?
You've been overthinking, my friend. No, you've been overthinking. You have been overthinking. And where's the thought happening? Is it happening out there in the world, or is the thinking happening inside, under your skin, inside of your body? And I believe the answer would be thoughts are happening inside of me. I can understand you can't control what China is doing or what America is going to do or what Azerbaijan or what Armenia is doing or what Iraq is going to do or Iran is doing. I know you can't control that, and that's okay. You can't control what's happening inside of you. Your fear, your negative thoughts, your confusion. Where is it really happening? I just want you to actually be present as to what you think. Where is it truly happening? And yes, you would know it is happening right inside of you. Somewhere where you are, it is inside of that you that it is happening. Take a hold of that. Take a hold of that. You're the only person who can, because it's happening inside of you. Really don't look at your parents to do it for you. Don't look at your teachers to do it for you. It's happening inside of you. The very fact that you realize your thoughts are happening inside of you is the only thing I can tell you. Once you are present to the fact my fears and doubts and worries are all happening inside of me, what happened outside is what could have happened outside. I lost a family relative. I lost 2 family relatives, maybe, or maybe 6 of them. I had a big family. Good. So along the journey of your life, eventually somebody had to go. You never came with anybody, other than your twin brother or a sister, few of you probably. And you will all anyways be leaving separately. You would not know when the other people would leave. And sometimes when you would know, you won't be leaving with them. What is there to fear and worry? Did you think you inherited the planet forever? You're going to be here forever? Are you present to the fact 24/7, every day, every breath of your life, that this could be my last breath? I need to accomplish certain things. I need to fulfill on certain matters, certain commitments, I have certain plans, dreams. Keep working for that rather than dealing with this frivolous hot air in your brain, which you keep telling me as negative thoughts. Well, they are your creation. As much as you can create any positivity inside of you, you can create a negativity. Be present to your creativities. What are you creating for yourself as a tribute to yourself is what you will be experiencing. I experience it as a breakthrough. The road accident which I survived was the most amazing thing that happened to my life. You know what happened? I lost my wife. I lost my son. I lost my mother-in-law. My entire family perished out of that. I walked into a house 10 years later where there was nobody to live with, just empty walls. Yeah, that's how it was. 10 years after the accident, I was discharged from a hospital called All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Thank God and thank my teachers that they were all there to make me survive. But I still walked back into this planet, which was fairly scary that time also. I had nobody to talk to. I had nobody to discuss my fears with, my concerns, my happiness to share with. Nobody. It was. I don't think most of you would ever get the idea that lying in a bed because you can't walk to the toilet, and you keep looking at that ceiling fan which moved, and they said 6 months passed and now we're switching it off, and okay, 6 months passed, now we're switching it on, and that's all you can see because there is nothing else. You can't even turn your head to look around, and you don't even know. The room never changes. It has the same light, the same temperature right through for 10 years. And only view you have is of a ceiling with a ceiling fan on hanging there, which works for few months and then it stops for a few months. And that's what life was for me. And I was wondering, and of course I was scared. and 2006, when I had retinal detachment with all those disabilities, now in a bed where I can't even see the ceiling fan. Forget about my CT scan screens and my ultrasound screens and my MRI screens, which is what I earn bread out of. It was scary. Yes, it was scary like hell. The way I walked out of it is, what am I on the planet for? And I would want each one of you now, each one of you, like everybody, rethink, why are you really on the planet? What is about your existence on the planet for? You are now worried my existence might be cut short, or somebody I love might have a shorter than expected existence on this planet. What is your existence really for is the question. If you would have lived for 2000 years, what would you have achieved? What would you want to achieve? What is that is a purpose fulfilling on this life that you so treasure, so scared to lose? Yours or somebody you love more than your life, or maybe even sometimes. When they're lost, what really is the loss? What is the purpose of this life on this planet? Well, to cut it short, really, I would like to show my perspective, and then you could have your perspective, and every perspective is a perspective, and therefore it is as valid as mine. But my perspective about human life is it has two aspects. For some of you who are grown up enough to have babies and children of your own, or some of you who are young enough to have parents of your own and still around. I lost my mother a few years back. I too still have a father who's 90 plus, though lives with my elder brother. But anyways, if you have somebody younger or somebody elder whom you madly love, for the younger ones, what would you be suggesting to them? Beta khush raho. You failed in the exam, you couldn't make it through the final stages, you tripped on the very first step. The person who really, really loves and cares for you more than his own life or her own life would always tell you, beta khush raho. Why? Because the things are not in favor of you. But what can you still choose to be is happy. And that's a choice about life. Thing you wanted never happened. The situation you wanted to create didn't happen. But why is happiness not happening? Just like fear is something that you are creating, you just got present to it. Can that not be instead, not only that you not make happen fear, can you actually replace it with happiness? Just a question. Yeah, okay. You lost somebody important. You lost a possibility of a job. You just actually chucked out of a job, which was amazing job. But did they actually take away your happiness? Did they take away your happiness? You are the source of creating your fears as much as you're your source of creating happiness. Choose happiness. You have an unbound source of happiness inside of you. Unbound, limitless. Create happiness. Some of you, I would want you to come to my crazy Facebook site where people know me not for my medical things, but know me for singing and dancing and crazy, stupid attires and kind of madness that I unleash every time that I get a possibility to actually talk to the planet, and with people whom I don't even know them. I never met them before. I meet people and I go to a point of happiness which is complete bliss, ecstasy, and that is where I want to create the possibilities of my life. That is where I would wish all of you, being my children, if I may please say so, or brothers or sisters, my only prayer to God and request to you is khush raho. That is all there is to it. Whatever, when you walked into this planet, trust me, you walked empty-handed, naked, with nothing in your hands. When you're going to walk out, it will be exactly the same. Nothing you carry with yourself. You came with nothing, you're going to go with nothing. Rest is a story. Can you make it a happy one? And it doesn't matter whether you were Bill Gates or you were the Apple, whatever guy was, Ambani or Adani or Narendra Modi or Michelangelo or I don't know, Mother Teresa, maybe Mahatma Gandhi. They all walked out. Whenever they had to walk out, they took nothing from the planet. They never could bring much. It is out of this life, this breath, this water. You are who you are because you ate products of this planet. Be it water, be it oxygen from the air, be it the products of the soil. You ate them and you became from 2-3 kgs to, well, 100 maybe sometimes or more. But that's only the part of planet that you consumed and became who you became. And then you're going to be topsoil again after a few years. And that's a guaranteed thing, by the way. The only thing you'll be remembered for is what you achieved as a human being about it. Being human. Not many dogs would be remembered. Not many elephants. Not many dolphins. Not many whales. But you can leave a legacy where you'd be remembered. You'd be looked up to. You could be transforming this planet as you leave this planet or while you're still on it. And there are many people, many examples. I don't know if we created or they really existed. I do not know the fight about Ram temple or about Krishna being there fighting right next door. We are in Gurgaon. It happened in Kurukshetra. He masterminded a battle and won it for just 5 people against 100 people. He's remembered for having created whatever he did as a little kid, what he created in love as a lover, what he created as a strategist in a war, as a king. He created what he created. And we were born into a planet, a part of the planet where such stories are taught to us and they are into our ears, put into our ears. Quite like when we're little kids, still in our grandparents' laps, we are told such stories. What are these stories all about? It is all about you trying to get these are the kind of possibilities that are available out of you being on the planet. Choose, move. Even if you were to worship, say, today is a day of victory of evil, over victory of truth over the lies and evil. Vijay Dashmi it is called. We are talking about some victory of amazing powers of a God we've been worshipping for so many thousands of years, Bhagwan Ram. Would any one of you really look at the life of Ram? What was his achievements? By default, he was meant to be the king. He couldn't. He still had to spend most of the time running around in a forest where his wife gets kidnapped, where all he has for support are some animals from the jungle, where he has to travel across the continent, across the country, onto another island somewhere far away, and fight absolutely against the most treacherous of battles, demons and people who are out there to destroy and kill his entity altogether. And yet, after having come back, he can't live with his 2 sons. His wife is still consumed by the Mother Earth, and he still lives on. We worship him. Why do we worship him? We never worship any of the other gods or other people of his contemporary times who became bigger rulers, who had wonderful kingdoms, maybe more rich ones, where they actually did whatever they did for by killing enemies and acquiring more land and winning over everybody and winning the competition. And our life currently is all about winning the competition and getting where nobody else can get because it is all for me, right? But we worship people who lost everything. One day in the life of God Ram, we can't even imagine living that. We can't. I can't. Now talk of Krishna. Okay. Another one. The second most popular one. What did he manage in that? He killed the maximum number of people. He masterminded killing of maximum number of people in the shortest possible time on the planet at that time. In less than 17, 18 days, he actually made vanish most of the people living on the planet at that time. He was a strategist behind it. He's worshipped. Death is what we are fearing now. He created death for just about everybody on the planet. The ones who didn't die feared death. The others died anyways. Those were testing times too. We worship them. You make it, you will be the God yourself, and you can't see the possibility of being a God. That's the only problem. Stories of strife, all over stories of strife are looked up to in our country, a wonderful country where I'm born, where grief and tragedies and difficult times are worshipped. People become great out of that. It's an opportunity for the entire country to become great again. Never has the planet in our living memories has gone through so much of problems. Each one of us can rise to be a God. Why to fear suffering, tempering, being chiseled? That little piece of rock, chiseled and hammered and most of it thrown away and chipped off, becomes the ideal which is worshipped in the mandir. What is the problem about being chipped and chiseled and hurt and injured and taken parts away from? What is the problem with that? You want to be great? Let you have experiences of fighting against the odds. Let you be the leader. You want to fight the World Cup finals and you want an easy bowler to come and bowl to bat against the easiest bowler? Really? And that's what will get you to win the championship? You must be crazy. Let the tough times happen. What is the problem with tough times? All you got to do is know these are tough times and this is what I'm going to celebrate. Eventually, I'm going to get out of this and celebration is going to definitely happen because I survived it. And right now, given the technologies, the wonderful little things that you're holding in your hand or sitting in front of are amazing things that connects you to the whole world. Think of what the world needs. Provide it for that. Against all odds, provide all that. And you will be the champion of this planet instantly and overnight. And you know that. And everybody who's managing to do it today is already rolling in billions of dollars. If that be any measure of success about financial and professional and academic progress about life be.
Sir?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We're actually running out of time. We need to have ma'am speak.
Yeah, I'm hanging around. Let ma'am take over. And I'm in whenever the question
I'm all here.
Ji.
And thank you so much, sir. That was really inspiring. The audience really enjoyed it.
I hope. There was too much silence.
No, they were really excited in the chat box. They really enjoyed it.
Oh, acha. I would probably be getting to see that later. I'm like.
All right. Thank you, sir.
God bless.
All right. So now I will be introducing the second speaker for the evening. That is Ma'am Jyoti Yadav. She is an MBBS, DGO, MS with a fellowship in infertility and ultrasonography. She is currently an HOD, gynecologist and IVF, director at Kamla Hospital and Health for All Wellness. She is currently providing regular lectures in schools and colleges for bringing about social, economic, legal empowerment of women belonging to underprivileged sections of the society through interventions in the areas like legal rights, economic initiatives, skill building, entrepreneurship development, and health awareness. Ma'am, would you now like to continue?
Yeah, please. Can I ask you one thing, whether the previous speaker is still there or he has left the conversation?
Ma'am, I'm very much
still there. Yo,
very
much. Okay. So I was so much drained with the talk. So I was thinking it's hardly 20 minutes left and I literally wanted to hear him for another 20 minutes. It was a wonderful thing. And for all the kids who are watching, the new generation, तो जो सर ने बोला अभी उसका एक छोटा सा जवाब मैं दूंगी. Why Krishna and why Ram and we remember all the stories and everything. क्यों राम जी को वो करते हैं? तो उसके लिए सिर्फ 2 लाइनें बोलूंगी and then I'll start my talk. कि सारा जग है प्रेरणा, प्रभाव सिर्फ राम है, भाव सूचियां बहुत है, भाव सिर्फ राम है. It means we have to create an impression बहुत लोगों के हो सकते हैं, प्रेरणा बहुत लोगों की हो सकती है, बट कौन इम्पैक्ट अपना छोड़ के जाता है वो पूज जाता है एंड वो राम बन जाता है. This is how the planet works, I suppose. So now I'm like, let me give my introduction, which has already been given. I'm a gynecologist by profession, and the talk which has been given to me is like navigating through pandemic, mentally, physically, emotionally. And I think the mental part and the emotional part has already been covered. So we'll like go through very fast on the physical health. So the thing is, the most important thing about the physical health, why we are focusing the whole of my talk is still connected to the previous speaker. Why we are concerned about the health at this pandemic? Why not anyways else also? Why the COVID era has created a more awareness towards health, or more taking care of the things which we are eating should be healthy, should not be contaminated, should not be a junk food, should not be a street food. Why now? It should have always been, it should have always been before COVID, or when we recover from COVID, or we come out of this in like, hope so, in 2021. Why not a healthy lifestyle every time? Why not a healthy lifestyle for the kids, the next generation which is coming up, which is all together bunching on the junk? Why not a healthy lifestyle for them? So I would always say, you youngsters, to have a healthy lifestyle anytime and every time in your life. What we have experienced, we used to have a very good lifestyle, or the food, at least food habits, which has been inculminated in us by our parents, is far better than what we are giving to the kids. So it is some mistakes on the parents part, and obviously good participation by even the kids, which want a junk all the 3 times of the meal of the day. So I would request you to have a healthy, and I would say the things which are being cooked at home. And this is, see, and again the thing is, it's the two sides of the coin which will look. Whether we look on the positivity or the negativity, crib on the negativity every time what COVID has brought to us. But there are so much of the positive things. And again, one more point of view which I want to give you, again, to the new generation: how much time you guys have ever spent with your parents before this pandemic, when the things were very happy, lovey-dovey, everything was fine, fantastic? Do we used to like spend the time with the parents? No. The time which this COVID has given us for the family bonding is irremarkable. And believe me, everybody has developed a better bond with the family, with the kids, with the grandparents, whosoever are living with them. So this has given us a better opportunity, I would always say, this COVID. And we stop cribbing about the negativity which COVID has brought. It has brought so much of the positivity also. So let me take you, like give you small tips on your physical health, what all things can be done. See, most of the things which one should eat lies at your house. It lies in your kitchen. Whatever our mothers and a generation before you used to cook at home, it's remarkably, like, it has everything, every nutrient, every immunity value in the food itself. Why we look for these times, why we are looking for superfoods, why we are looking for the things in the market, where we are fetching for the organic things? Why every time? No, your kitchen has all the stuff in it. And at our time, it was everything which has used to be cooked in the kitchen. So kitchen itself is a super source of the food which used to be served to us as the kids, and which we want our kids to have actually. But the kids of this generation are like all the time on other stuff, like Domino's, Pizza Hut. They know every damn brand of the food items also. So as a gynecologist or as a health specialist, I would say the nutritive value should always be considered while we consume them. And as per the broad categories of the nutrients, everybody of us by this time would be knowing what carbohydrate, proteins, then we say the veggies, the fruits, the superfruits, the super nuts, and the spices. We say this COVID has been better in India, why we were predicting, I think, a few months back, because while our immunity is so strong, we are all focusing on the immunity part every time, every one day or the other, around the corner. immunity. And for this immunity booster, there are so many things which has come up in the market, and we are taking them. Why? We don't require, actually we don't require. If we are very good in eating the veggies, if we are very good in eating the fruits, if we are very good in eating the items which have been cooked by our mothers, we won't be requiring anything to buy from the market as the immunity booster. No. So the focus again lies of what we eat. There has been the comorbid factors which are equally important for any other disease to have on the severe part, like a person who is obese. And now imagine, can you believe youngsters are so obese these days? Why? Because they are all the time on pizzas and Dominoes. So we need to reduce, we need to have a BMI which is like in the normal range for every age, and the food habits which we develop should be so that you don't have to bother about anything to increase your immunity at any point of time if you face in your lifetime. This is COVID, no doubt about it. Maybe you have another pandemic of any other disease where again you will find starting on this immunity part. So why not on a daily routine? Why not on a daily schedule? Why not to eat healthy every time we eat? And the nutrients which we are consuming should be, and there are like few, very few things, small things, like vegetables. How do we say fruits? So there should be a small amount of veggie fruit, and we say that your plate should be colorful. As much as you can add colors to your plate will suffice every nutrient on the plate itself. Like, let me give you small things. And when we eat, number one thing is the food habits which we have to develop is should be healthy. And healthy, by the time everybody of us knows, I'm not talking about any supplement, I'm not talking about any multivitamin, I'm not talking about any coronal tablet or anything which is available in the market with the name of immuno boosters. People are crazy, going crazy when purchasing them every time. No, develop a habit of eating healthy every time in your life. Maybe you face another pandemic down the line 20 years in your future. So you should always be prepared. Your body is such an engine which should always be charged. You have to work with your body every time. And believe me, this is the best place you are residing. So you should take care. Your care should be best for whatever is healthy for you and whatever is good for your body. Everything starts with your body. So, and again, the message is more for the young generation than for, I think, the parents and a generation ahead of me. And the girls, and more specifically for the girls, I would say, because I have been into women empowerment every time. I have been taking classes for puberty girls. I have been taking classes in the schools specifically for girls. So my nutrition is again more focused on girls, because a healthy adult, a healthy girl who is in the college or in the school should be in a state of nutrition where she is like going to deliver in the future. And being a gynecologist, and I want every child or every girl child to be on a hemoglobin which is sufficient for her to survive as her needs, as well as for the future antenatal when she becomes. So the more care and the more nutrition, and this has been a myth in the past of our generation, where we used to think, no, it is the man of the house who earns and who should be served with the best food in the house, and he should have the best nutrition even because he is the working person. No, I believe a girl or a lady or a woman in the family should be at the highest level of nutrition every time, and a girl should always give, or a lady should always take care of her nutrition to the utmost level, because she is the creator of this planet. Second thing, apart from the nutrition, is the air which we are breathing. Now, again, I would again connect with the previous speaker where he said, I suppose, this is the best air which we have encountered in the past so many years. We live in a state, we live in metropolitan cities where the environment has become so much polluted. Have you ever seen the stars? Have you ever seen the moon so clearly? But yes, we have seen in this pandemic. because the air has become non-polluted. Now it is increasing day by day as we are going on the rides, as we are like roaming here and there, even without the work. So my request again comes, the pointer here is, don't go out until and unless it is needed. Don't hang out. It is not a time to do that. We should not increase the burden on the healthcare professionals, where we know India is a developing country and our healthcare facilities are not up to the mark to handle the crisis. So everybody should be a responsible citizen for the country, and everybody should take care of each one of our in the house, or each one in your locality. So if one, and the baseline again remains the same, it is the education which can help. So each one teach one. Keep telling everybody, if you see somebody without a mask, if you see somebody mask on the chin, if you see somebody sneezing, do let them know. If we tell them, believe me, if I go out, I just tell minimum of 10 to 15 people I encounter to pull up their mask till the nose. Your nose and your mouth should always be covered. And believe me, it will protect you from, not only from COVID, it will protect you from this polluted air. It will protect you from so many diseases which are gonna shoot up again in this winter season. And again, the one more thing to be pointed out here is the season which is coming up is again a winter months, which can again flare up the situations, because the winters itself is a time where there are things like asthma, pneumonia, a cold, cough are on the peak. So the comorbid people need to take an extra care every time they move out, or should be ideally in the house. Before they take a decision to come out, they should always be protected with the mask. They should always be protected with the basic sanitization or washing their hands. These are the basic symptoms which these are the basic things which everybody by this time is well aware of. The sanitizers which are available in the market, choose your sanitizer wisely, because sanitizer has become a boom in industry, which is like faking up the sanitizers. So choose wisely, spend wisely. There the time will come when you can shop, you can roam, you can hang up with your friends. Time will come, believe me. So just be patient, be cool. Take the opportunity of this to improve your health. Take the opportunity to improve a talent. Take this time as an opportunity to build a new talent. And believe me, this is the wonderful time which has been given. Me as a gynecologist, I would say I was damn occupied 24/7, but this time I have developed myself with the skills which I just had a dream of doing them, but this is the opportunity which has come up, and I'm practicing them, and I have really developed them very well. And you should know what are the surfaces, what are the things which are more prone, what are the things, which are the places which we should avoid, what are the places which we are on a higher risk of developing. And when we talk about, let me take you to the another side of this. When we talk about the mental health, I would say it can be taken as the best time to flourish your talents. See, it's a silver lining to trigger the thought on the mental health and the behavioral changes. This is the time when we are giving to the kids, where we can read their behavior. This is the time which kids are getting to interact with their parents, see the bonding. We can develop, we can take care of our grandparents with whom we never used to get time to sit with. We used to say, no, we are occupied, we are working, we have to go here, there, everywhere, but no time for them. So believe me, this is the time you can develop so many things. And you should, as a health professional, I would say watch out the earliest signs and symptoms. And by this time everybody is well versed with what are the signs and what are the symptoms. You should visit your doctors. The doctors are providing teleconsultation for, they are always for your health, they are always taking care of. But you should always be a responsible citizens to build a environment where the professionals, healthcare professionals, have less burden of the people who are visiting them every day. Really, we don't want a burden on us, but that can happen when we work together. And you should stay cool, calm, and connect with your family, connect with your friends. This is the wonderful platform which these kids have created, Zoom. There are so many platforms where we can talk. We are celebrating our celebrations on these kind of webinars, or these kind of platforms where even the birthdays or functions are being celebrated. So why not to take this opportunity of the digital world which we are facing, which we are getting, We are learning, in fact. And there are the things which, again, the things which is connected to the previous speaker, is this is the time where we have really developed some values in ourselves, where we are supporting the people who are in need, where we are helping the needy people, where we are like connected with we used to distribute food, and so many things has happened even good in this time. And this is the time where people, these are the two sides of the coin what we want to look. Actually, this is the opportunity also, and if we want to crib, we can crib all the time and every time. So it's our way how we look to the things. There are like few things I would like to highlight. Very basic things is like wash your hands, but again thing, the bottom line is, you wash your hands, but save water as well. Water is a like wonderful resource which we want to save also. Wear mask, as well as when you know you have to wear the mask which you are not of like any brand or anything, so you should know the way to dispose it off properly, because again you will pollute your environment. If you throw your mask here and there, you are again creating a nuisance. Then there are few things like sanitize, clean your hands, clean your house, clean your surroundings, meditate, exercise daily, which will improve your immunity as such. Don't panic, meditate. Whatever talent you want to exercise, like your dance, your music, you can do so much, so much, so much in this time, and make best use of the time. Stay together, stay connected, and together we can and we will. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you so much. I think the time is up.
So that was a lovely talk, Dr.
Thank you.
Jyoti. And I would like to give a huge thanks to both our speakers today for sharing their knowledge and important advice with us. I believe that these tips were great, and every individual has a lot to take away from this session. So I would also like to thank our audience and all the participants for their patience and encouragement during the webinar. And now we'd like to proceed to the question answer session. So the first question for our speakers is, if I'm already ailing from a physical condition, how do I take care of myself and my health?
Are you, Doctor?
So this is my question, or Riddhi,
This
to
is
whom
the
you have
both of
asked?
you. The both of you can answer.
Okay, okay. So ladies first. So I'll take the opportunity to speak.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the thing is, which I told, I think you are talking about somebody who is already comorbid. Am I right?
Yes.
Who is already dealing with some kind of a health issue?
Yes, absolutely.
So we have already said you these things. So the people, the youngsters have a better immunity. The people who are on a good diet, who are regularly exercising, who have a better saturation, they are fantastically doing in this COVID also. The only concern of us as a health professional and as a I think anybody in the family is the comorbid people. So we need to take care, little extra precaution, whatever it can be, a heart disease, it can be related to the lungs or anything. If they are suffering previously, they should have a regular consultation of the doctor. They should have the regular medications which they used to take, even for hypertension or any cardiac ailment or any other ailment related to lungs. They should be on a continuous medication, a regular consultation, whether it is a teleconsultation, before going to any hospital or before going visiting their consultant's room. They should always have a telephonic consultation. I think everybody of us is doing that. So we don't want even our comorbid crowd to come to the hospital to visit us in person, because we also don't know what is happening and what can happen to them even in the hospital itself, because that's the biggest source of infection. So they should stay home as much as they can. They can avail the consultations on phone. They can continue their medication, and if in need, by appointment, they should visit the hospital, where we are taking every damn care of their health, and we are taking every precaution of COVID. I think that's the best thing which we can provide. And again, the take home message on this is, do take care of your parents and grandparents. Don't let them go out. This is a young generation who has to work, and definitely they have to work. So the basic precautions they also have to take care of for their parents and the grandparents.
So to add to this, absolutely agree with every word you spoke. Few things about comorbidities. There's a myth about youngsters not being diabetic. Most people just don't check their sugar levels, which is a major attraction to COVID. It's the trap which you get sucked into because you never got your blood sugar level checked. Something which is very basic. Um, uh, the guru mantra here is: if there be a suffering person in your family, you take charge. You're grown up enough to now take charge, read more about it, learn more about it, support that person. Having gone through all that, you are now trained enough not to fall for the trap yourself. So the more you help more people about how they got into it and how they got out of it, you're present now as to the precautions as to how to handle this. And yes, it is absolutely true. You being young and born in a country where vaccination is what is that you're exposed to the moment you're born, the little slight street foods and the kind of functions that we have, haath se mithai khilana, haath se khana khana, keeps adding to your immunity. That's why Indians didn't go as badly down as others did. Despite of poor hygiene, we people performed reasonably better because of the vaccines that we are anyway given under the Indradhanush scheme by the government and so many other things that are running. And the way we eat our food with our fingers, with our hands, we feel the food. And also that goes with that a little bit of what we might call contamination, but ends up giving us the immunity that we grow on. And any American who comes and eats a street food in India would certainly not survive it. And we love it. In fact, we're missing it in the times when it is locked down. मेरे तो गोलगप्पे missing हैं बहुत सारे. So the way we live our lives is already wonderful. Kada Prasad is given right in your hand. Charnamrit is when you lick your own hand. There's nothing wrong with the way we live our lives because that has given us enough immunity. But watch out for hygiene. Watch out for your strengths. It is absolutely stupid to smoke. It is going to block your airways where this infection is going to grow because you anyway lost most of your oxygen carbon dioxide exchange mechanism is already damaged badly because you've been smoking. The youth should now at least have reason enough to never even think of smoking, because that's going to make you the most vulnerable that it would leave your lungs to a little infection because it is anyway so compromised about its oxygen exchange. You add to that a little carbon particles and block off certain more areole of your lungs and you're finished. So these are times to now look into where we have gone wrong and where we've gone right and choose the better options and listen to what ma'am just said. It is brilliant. Stick with nature. Eat food which is natural. Eat food which is from within the kilometers that you are living in. Stop opening boxes and packets and bottles and all that packaged food is not really it. Eat what grandparents used to eat. Something that was grown yesterday, something that was taken out from the soil or plucked from the plant just few hours ago. It is a possibility now that would leave you with a whole lot of immunity than preserved foods and chemicals being added to it and preservatives. And it's surprising how all tomato ketchups taste the same when two tomatoes can't taste the same. You're actually eating chemicals and you don't even realize you're eating chemicals. So the whole game is go close to nature and nature will be protective to you. And India is all about that. And you have ma'am to guide you.
Thank you, Dr. Jaideep, and thank you, Dr. Jyoti. Here's another question for the both of you. There's a typhoon in Philippines. How do we deal with the current circumstances? Typhoon. So, yeah.
So how should Indians deal with the typhoon in?
No. There are a few people in Philippines. They've asked this question.
There is a problem happening in Azerbaijan and Armenia also. See, breakdowns will happen all the time. As I said, breakdowns happen. They come to define your strengths. You really take it on. The planet is a much smaller place than it was. It took just a trunk call would take about 2-3 hours and you'd be waiting in a queue and you would probably be giving your numbers. Call aa jaye Allahabad se to mujhe bula lena. And that is the kind of childhood we have lived. Right now, you just whip out a piece of metal and plastic from your pocket and you talk to somebody in a video conference in US in the next, 3 seconds, 3 microseconds even sometime. It's a wonderful place. You want to support them. Join the groups that are out there and see what they need and what you can be providing for as support mechanism. There is supply chain. Few of you are MBA students. Few of you are educated enough to know what has been done in the past about people who needed things across the globe. Find out what their requirements are. Talk to people if you have concerns. Talk to people in authority. Ask, can we be supplying food? Can we be supplying clean water? Can we be supplying something for sanitary reasons out there? There are humans as you are. How much can you expand your limits to support people across the globe? Start with yourself. Take on your families, the elders in your family, the suffering ones in your family. The moment you get to handle challenges for others, I'm promising you, you would never be challenged because you've already figured out the solutions. Every breakdown that is reported in the newspaper or even on CNN or internet or something is a possibility for you to start contributing as human beings. And technology is on your side. You people have better knowledge of technology than I would ever have in my lifetime. Use technology, find out what's the requirement there. Start begging, start creating structures, start creating groups where it can be supported. They can be supported out there. Beg people, borrow from them, request them to support you, support them. Technology is right now fairly in a ripe stage where you can help anybody who's stranded in planet Mars. What do you mean? This is just Philippines or yeah, Philippines, you said, beta, Riddhi?
It's in Philippines.
Yeah, figure out for yourself. You have mass media, you have everything that is available. You have courier companies which will send your laptop in next 48 hours across the whole globe. You can order anything right now. Can you not order help and support for somebody who's just about what, 2,000 kilometers away? It's not difficult. Are you committed to it? Or is it just a question? Expand your muscles, build your muscles. You're a human being, amazing. Being human, being insan, being manav is all about insaniyat and manavta. You feel the concern for them, do it. Get up and show and do it. You can. These are opportunities. These are not breakdowns. You work that out. The next day a typhoon hits my country. I know you will be the leader to support that because you've already earned your reputation by United Nations, WHO, and UNICEF and UNESCO have already honored you for it. But take the game on. The planet is a beautiful playing ground.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jaideep, once again, and thank you, Dr. Jyoti, for being here on the panel with us today. So, before wrapping up, I would like to repeat the steps to avail the e-certificate. Attend the full webinar, and once you see "thank you" displayed on the screen, there will appear a link to Google attendance form in the chat box. Click to mark your attendance and get the feedback form emailed. Fill the questionnaire that you receive on your mail for the details and follow our page on Instagram and Facebook. If the above stated steps are followed, an e-certificate will be automatically issued to you. And this is a message for all our participants today. You can contact us in any of the above stated platforms with your questions, feedbacks, and suggestions. So stay tuned and see you all on next Sunday. Thank you.
And thank you very much, friends. Amazing. This is a platform which is unique to the planet. And it's a privilege having to have a conversation where I'm heard because most of the planet is suffering. Meri sun to lo, please. Meri baat sun lete to ye na hota. I've been left with that experience most of my life. But here I have people listening to me. And thank you so much. Your listening has been generous. It has been very kind. I get the love that I was showered. Thank you so much for being around. Riddhi, I would request you to share my personal connections in case somebody has a question off the line, would want to talk to me. I'm available 24/7.
Definitely.
Let's change this planet forever. Right, because you and I, we make a difference. We are not accidents.
They will be reaching out to us in any case, so we'll direct them to you. All right. Yeah, thank you so much.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye.